I just recently finished going through a series called The Character of God, and now I'm going to transition into a series about faith. I want to take you through some of the scriptures and break them down, and I'm just going to do this video by video. Today I'm going to be talking about Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 through 2, and this is in the King James Version. Wherefore, seeing we are also compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight, and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. So in this verse, it begins by talking about a great cloud of witnesses. This is basically letting us know that there were people in the Old Testament that are a witness to us and what faith can do when we walk by faith. There were so many people who went through countless trials and tribulations and long suffering, but those who had faith in God came out victorious, and they were truly able to see what the bigger plan was when they came through the valleys. You know, the verse that says, when we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we're not just sitting in it, we walk through it. So then it says, let us lay aside every weight and sin that besets us. The word beset means to cause trouble or difficulties for someone or something. So this scripture instructs us to lay aside our weights and our sin, which literally causes us trouble and difficulty. When you drop weight, what happens? You feel light. It could be a physical weight or emotional weight or a spiritual weight or even a mental weight. But when weight is lifted, you feel light. So let's move on. It then says, let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. The race is a reference to our lives. This scripture is instructing us to live our lives looking unto Jesus. The word look means to direct one's gaze towards someone or something. And when we look at something and we really look at it and we inspect it and we study it, we get to know all of the details about it that we can. Just like a brand new baby or a new puppy. We come to stare and we look at it and we fall in love with it. We're instructed to live our lives looking at Jesus that same way. He's the author and the finisher of our faith, meaning he's the beginning and the end. He finishes and fulfills all that he sets out to do in our lives. And then it continues in the verse, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of God. Jesus' life was an example to us because we saw that there were constant hardships along the way for him. God doesn't promise us that life is going to be easy. The Bible actually tells us that we're going to have troubles and that we're going to face trials, but Jesus came to overcome the world. And he talks about this in John chapter 16, verse 33. How many Christians are literally cussed out today? Like, how many people just for being Christian are frowned upon or called hypocrites? Like, people don't seem to know or understand that we came out of things in our lives too. We came out of trauma. We came out of abuse. We came out of inadequacy. We came out of low self-esteem. We came out of addiction. We came out of so much more than people could ever imagine. We have walked through things that people would never think that we walked through because Jesus came in and cleaned us out. When we were running this losing race, Jesus came along like, here, let me help you. Let me give you this boost of oxygen. Let me give you fresh water. Let me clean that wound for you. Let me heal your heart. He comes along and transforms us into someone that people don't even recognize. Then the world looks at us with offense, like they don't understand where we are, or we don't understand where they are. The joy that is set before us, as it was set before Jesus, is really knowing what God has called us to do and what he wants us to do. He wants us to partner with him in the plan for our lives, and then live in peace knowing that we're doing exactly what we were called to do. Lastly, Jesus endured the cross. He was then rewarded to be set at the right hand of God. It says that he despised the shame. Like, he literally hated the way that he was dying in such a shameful way. He knew that he was innocent. He knew that he was hated, And then he was shamed and killed in the most gruesome way when he hadn't committed a single crime. His sacrifice was not in vain. And when you feel like you're beyond exhausted, things look like they're nearly impossible, those are the times that you look at the crumbling building in your life and you can see it built with brand new interior and exterior, and it looks like it seems impossible. Like, how could this possibly happen? But we serve a God where nothing is impossible for him. That's the kind of faith that we need to have. Without faith, remember that it's impossible to please him. So let's drop our weights and let's push through this race hand in hand, glorifying God all the way through it.